that are being defined here, some colors. Then the trominos, the pieces of Tetris are there. Obviously, very hard to see at one glance if this is good, so we gotta run this to figure out if it's working. Well, let's give it a try. Fingers crossed. All right, so this kind of looks like Tetris, but the colors are a little bit off, right? The colors are different here, and if you think about like, what's going on here, Bejeweled has this mechanic where if you get 3 jewels in a row, then they disappear, and also gravity activates, right? So what happens if you get 3 of the colors together? Okay, so something happened. So I think what Grok did in this version is that once you connect at least 3 blocks of the same color in a row, then gravity activates and they disappear, and then gravity activates and all the other blocks fall down. Kind of curious if there's still a Tetris mechanic here where if the line is full, does it actually clear it, or what happens then? It's up to interpretation, so who knows?
Yeah, it'll do different variants when you ask it. It doesn't do the same thing every time.
Exactly. We've seen a few other Tetris that worked very differently, but this one seems cool. So, yeah.
Are we ready for Game Studio at X.AI?
Yes. So we're launching an AI gaming studio at XAI. If you're interested in joining us in building AI games, please join XAI. We're launching an AI gaming studio. We're announcing it tonight. Let's go. Epic Games. But wait, that's an actual game studio. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I think one thing is super exciting for us is that once you have the best pre-trained model, you have the best reasoning model, right? So we already see that when you actually give the capability for those models to think harder, think longer, think more broad, the performance continually improves. And we're really excited about the next frontier, that what happens if we not only allow the model to think harder, but also provide more tools, just like how real humans to solve those problems. For real humans, we don't ask them to solve Riemann hypothesis just with a piece of pen and paper, no internet. So with all the basic web browsing, search engine, and code interpreters, that builds the foundations, and the best reasoning model builds the foundations for the Grok agent to come. So today we're actually introducing a new product called Deep Search. That is the first generation of our Grok agents that not just helping the engineers and researchers and scientists to do coding, but actually help everyone to answer questions that you have day to day. It's a kind of like a next generation search engine that really help you to understand the universe. So you can start asking questions like, for example, hey, when is the next Starship launch day, for example? So let's try that, if we get the answer. On the left-hand side, we see a high-level progress bar. Essentially, the model not only just going to do one single search like the current RAG system, but actually thought very deeply about, hey, what's the user intent here? And what are the facts I should consider at the same time? And how many different websites I should actually go and read their content, right? So this can really save hundreds of hours of everyone's Google time if you want to really look into certain topics. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the bullet summaries of how the current model is doing, what websites browsing, what sources verifying, and oftentimes actually cross-validate different sources out there to make sure the answer is actually correct before it's output final answer. And we can, at the same time, fire up a few more queries. How about, Elon, you're a gamer, right? So
sure.
Yeah, so how about what are some of the best builds and most popular builds in Python Excel? Hardcore, right? Hardcore league.
You can technically just look at the hardcore ladder. Might be a fast way to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see what the model does. And then we can also do, something more fun. For example, how about make a prediction about the March Madness out there?
Yeah, so this is kind of a fun one where Warren Buffett has a $1 billion bet. If you can exactly match the entire winning tree of March Madness, you can win $1 billion from Warren Buffett. So like, it would be pretty cool if AI could help you win $1 billion from Buffett. That seems like a pretty good investment.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's fire up the query and see what model does. So we can actually go back to our very first one. How about the...
Buffett wasn't counting on this.
It's already done.
That's right. OK, so we got the result of the first one. The model thought around 1 minute. So the key insight here, the next starship is going to be on 24th or later, so no earlier than February 24th.
It might be sooner.
So yeah, so I think we can scroll down what the model does. So it does a little research on the Flight 7, what happened, got grounded, and actually it looked into the FCC filing, from its data collections, and then actually made a new conclusion that if we continue to scroll down, let's see, right, so it makes the little table. I think inside XAI, we often joked about the time to the first table is the only latency that matters. So that's how the model makes the inference and look up all the sources. And then we can look into the gaming one. So how about the... Oh, sorry. Right. So for this particular one, we look at the build is like it's kind of all the meta. Right?
Yeah.
So with the infernalist, but if we go down, so the surprising fact of all the other builds. So it look into the 12 classes. So we'll see that the minion build was pretty popular whenever the game first came out, and now the invokers of the world kind of took over.
Monk Invoker for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, followed by the Stone Weavers, and that's really good at mapping. So, yeah, and then we can see the March Madness. How about that? So, one interesting thing about the deep search is that if you actually go into the panel where it shows, what are the subtasks, you can actually click the bottom left of this, right? And then in this case, you can actually scroll through, actually reading to the mind of Grok. What informations does the model actually think about are trustworthy, what are not? How does it actually cross-validate different information sources? So that makes the entire search experience and information retrieval process a lot more transparent to our users.
And this is much more powerful than any search engine out there. You can literally just tell it, only use sources from X, and it will try to respect that.
Yeah.
And so it's much more steerable, much more intelligent than...
I mean, it really should save you a lot of time. So something that might take you half an hour or an hour of researching on the web or searching social media, you can just ask it to go do that and come back, and 10 minutes later, it's done an hour's worth of work for you. That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
And maybe better than you could have done it yourself.
Yeah. Think about you have infinite amount of interns working for you. Now you can just fire up all the tasks and come back a minute later. So this is going to be an interesting one. So March Madness had not happened yet. So I guess we have to follow up with a next live stream.
Yeah. It seems like pretty good. Like $40 might get you $1 billion. $40 subscription.
That's right.
I mean, my work.
So so when are the users going to have their hands on Grok 3?
Yeah, so the good news is we've been working tirelessly to actually release all of these features that we've shown you, the Grok 3 base model with amazing chat capabilities that's really useful, that's really interesting to talk to, the deep search, the advanced reasoning mode, all of these things. We want to roll them out to you today, starting with the Premium Plus subscribers on X. So it's the first group that will initially get access. Make sure to update your X app if you want to see all of the advanced capabilities, because we just released the update as we're talking here. If you're interested in getting early access to Grok, then sign up for Premium Plus. And also, we're announcing that we're starting a separate subscription for Grok that we call Super Grok, for those real Grok fans that want the most advanced capabilities and the earliest access to new features. So feel free to check that out as well.
This is for the dedicated Grok app and for the website.
Exactly.
Grok website.
So our new website is called grok.com.
Yeah.
and you'll also
You'd
find...
never guess.
Yeah, you'd never guess. And you can also find our Grok app in the iOS App Store. And that gives you like a more even more polished experience that's totally Grok focused. If you want to have Grok easily available, one tap away.
Yeah, and the version on Grok.com on a web browser is going to be the latest and most advanced version, because obviously it takes us a while to get something into an app and then get it approved by the App Store. So and then if something's in a phone format, there's limitations to what you can do. So the most powerful version of Grok and the latest version will be the web version at Grok.com.
Yeah. So watch out for the name Grok Free in the app.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah, exactly. That's the giveaway, that you have Grok Free. And if it says Grok 2, then Grok Free hasn't quite arrived for yet, but we're working hard to roll this out today, and then to even more people over the coming days.
Yeah, make sure you update your phone app too, where you're actually going to get all the tools we showcased today with the thinking mode, with the deep search. So yeah, really looking forward to all the feedbacks you have.
Yeah, and I think we should emphasize that this is kind of a beta, like meaning that you should expect some imperfections at first, but we will improve it rapidly almost every day. In fact, every day I think it'll get better. So if you want a more polished version, I'd like maybe wait a week, but expect improvements literally every day. And then we're also going to be providing a voice interaction, so you can have conversational. In fact, I was trying it earlier today. It's working pretty well, but needs a bit more polish. The sort of way where you can just literally talk to it like you're talking to a person. That's awesome. It's actually, I think, one of the best experiences of Grok. But that's probably about a week away.
Yeah. So with that said,
cool. I think we might have some audience questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Today.
All right.
So let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look. The audience from the X platform.
Yeah.
Cool. So the first question here is, when Grok Voice Assistant? When is it coming out? Yeah, as soon as possible, just like Elon said, just a little bit of polishing away from being released to everybody. Obviously, it's going to be released in an early form, and we're going to rapidly iterate on that.
Yep. And the next question is like, when will Grok 3 be in the API? So this is coming in the Grok 3 API with both the reasoning models and deep search is coming your way in the coming weeks. We're actually very excited about the enterprise use cases of all these additional tools that now Grok has access to, and how the test time compute and tool use can actually really accelerate all the business use cases.
And another one is, will voice mode be native or text-to-speech? So I think that means, is it going to be one model that is understanding what you say and then talking back to you, or is it going to be some system that has text-to-speech inside of it? And the good news is it's going to be one model, like a variant of Grok 3 that we're going to release, which basically understands what you're saying and then generates the audio directly from that. So very much like Grok 3 generates text, that model generates audio. And that has a bunch of advantages. I was talking to it earlier today, and it said, "Hi, Igor," reading my name probably from some text that it had. And I said, "No, my name is Igor." And it remembered that. So it could continue to say Igor, just like a human would. And you can't achieve that with text-to-speech. So,
yeah. So, here's a question for you. Pretty spicy, Elon. Is Grok a boy or a girl? And are they single?
Grok is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they single?
Yes.
All right. The shop is open. So
honestly, people are going to fall in love with Grok. It's like 1,000% probable.
Yeah. The next question, will Grok be able to transcribe audio into text? Yes. So we'll have this capability in both the app and also the API. We found that's like, Grok should just be your personal assistant looking over your shoulder, right? And follow you along the way, learn everything you have learned, and really help you to understand the world better, become smarter every day.
Yeah, I mean, the voice mode of Grok isn't simply, it's not just voice to text. It understands like tone, inflection, pacing, everything. It's wild. I mean, it's like talking to a person.
Okay. Yep, so any plans for conversation memory?
Yeah.
Absolutely, we're working on it right now. So.
I already forgot.
That's right. Let's see. What are the other ones? So what about the DM features, right? So if you have personalizations and if you have, Grok remembers your previous interactions.
Yes.
Should it be one Grok or multiple different Groks?
It's up to you. You can have one Grok or many Groks.
Yep.
I suspect people will probably have more than one.
Yeah. I want to have a Dr. Grok.
Yeah. The Grok dog.
That's right. All right.
Cool. So in the past, we've open sourced Grok 1. Right? So somebody's asking us, are we going to do it again with Grok 2?
Yeah, I think once Grok, our general approach is that we will open source the last version when the next version is fully out. So like when Grok 3 is mature and stable, which is probably within a few months, then we'll open source Grok 2.
Okay, so we probably have time for one last question. What was the most difficult part about working on this project? I assume Grok 3, and what are you most excited about? So I think me looking back, getting the whole model training on the 100K H100 coherently, that's almost like battling against the final boss of the universe, the entropy. Because at any given time, you can have a cosmic ray that beaming down and flip a bit in your transistor. And now the entire gradient update, if it's fit Mantissa bit, the entire gradient update is out of whack. And now you have 100,000 of those, and you have to orchestrate them every time, at any given time, any of the GPUs can go down. And
yeah. I mean, it's worth breaking down, like, how were we able to get the world's most powerful training cluster operational within 122 days? Because we started off, we actually weren't intending to do a data center ourselves. We were going to just, we went to the data center providers and said, how long would it take to have 100,000 GPUs operating coherently in a single location? And we got time frames from 18 to 24 months. So we're like, well, 18 to 24 months, that means losing is a certainty. So the only option was to do it ourselves. So then if you break down the problem, I guess I'm doing like reasoning here, but like, makes you think.
one single chain though.
Yeah, exactly. So well, we needed a building. We can't build a building, so we must use an existing building. So we looked for basically for factories that had been abandoned, but the factory was in good shape, like the company had gone bankrupt or something. So we found an Electrolux factory in Memphis. That's why it's in Memphis, home of Elvis, and also one of the oldest. I think it was the capital of ancient Egypt. And it was actually a very nice factory that, I don't know, for whatever reason, that Electrolux had left. So that gave us shelter for the computers. Then we needed power. We needed at least 120 megawatts at first, but the building only had 15 megawatts. And ultimately, for 200,000 GPUs, we needed a quarter gigawatt. So we initially leased a whole bunch of generators. So we have generators on one side of the building, just one trailer after trailer of generators, until we can get the utility power to come in. But then we also need cooling. So on the other side of the building, it was just trailer after trailer of cooling. So we leased about a quarter of the mobile cooling capacity of the United States on the other side of the building. Then we needed to get the GPUs all installed, and they're all liquid cooled. So in order to achieve the density necessary, this is a liquid cooled system. So we had to get all the plumbing for the liquid cooling. Nobody had ever done a liquid cooling data center at scale. So this was incredibly dedicated effort by a very talented team to achieve that outcome. I may think, now it's going to work. Nope. The issue is that the power fluctuations for a GPU cluster are dramatic. So it's like this giant symphony that is taking place. Like imagine having a symphony with 100,000 or 200,000 participants in the symphony, and the whole orchestra will go quiet and loud in 100 milliseconds. And so this caused massive power fluctuations. So then, which then caused the generators to lose their minds, and they weren't expecting this. So To buffer the power, we then used Tesla megapacks to smooth out the power. So the megapacks had to be reprogrammed. So with XAI, working with Tesla, we reprogrammed the megapacks to be able to deal with these dramatic power fluctuations to smooth out the power so that the computers could actually run properly. And that worked. It was quite tricky. And then, but even at that point, you still have to make the computers all communicate effectively. Mm-hmm. So all the networking had to be solved, and debugging a zillion network cables, debugging nickel at 4 in the morning. I think we solved it like
4:20
roughly 4:20 a.m.
Yes, thank you.
Was when we figured out like there's some. Well, there were a whole bunch of issues. Well, like one there was like a BIOS mismatch.
Yeah, exactly. The BIOS was not set up correctly.
Yeah.
We had to diff our LSPCI outputs between 2 different machines. One that was working.
Yeah.
One that was not working. Yeah. Many other things.
I mean, yeah, exactly. This would go on for a long time if we actually listed all the things. But you know, it's like interesting. It's not like, oh, we just magically made it happen. You have to break down the problem, just like Grok does for reasoning, into the constituent elements, and then solve each of the constituent elements in order to achieve a coherent training cluster in a period of time that is a small fraction of what anyone else could do it in.
And then once the training cluster was up and running and we could use it, we had to make sure that it actually stays healthy throughout, which is its own giant challenge. And then we had to get every single detail of the training right in order to get a Grok-free level model, which is actually really, really hard. So we don't know if there are any other models out there that have Grok-free's capabilities, but whoever trains a model better than Grok-free has to be extremely good at the science of deep learning at every aspect of the engineering. So it's not so easy to pull this off.
And this is now going to be the last cluster we built and last model we train.
Oh yeah, we've already started work on the next cluster, which will be about 5 times the power. So instead of a quarter gigawatt, roughly 1.2 gigawatts. Maybe what's the Back to the Future was? What's the power in the, there's the Back to the Future car?
Yeah.
Anyway, the Back to the Future power car. It's like roughly in that order, I think. And you know, these will be the sort of the GB200/300 cluster. Once again, it will be the most powerful training cluster in the world. So we're not like stopping here.
No. And our reasoning model is going to continue to improve by accessing more tools every day. So yeah, we're very excited to share any of the upcoming results with you all.
Yeah, the thing that keeps us going is basically being able to give Grok free to you, and then seeing the usage go up, seeing everybody enjoy. Grok, that's what really gets us up in the morning. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Awesome.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Grok, what's up?
Can you hear me? I'm so excited to finally meet you. I can't wait to chat and learn more about each other. I'll talk to you soon.